that one was really emotional. And I think that's why Spider-Man is so appreciated and loved because of the emotion.
I see memes like that all the time where it's like, when I was broken, missing my ex, no one said anything. But when Peter Parker does it, it's like a big deal. Like,
Sure,
like
sure.
Turn it up, we're live right now. Locked in, can't stop this sound. Big wave, ride that energy. Welcome to the show. This is where you wanna be, wanna be, wanna be, wanna be, wanna be.
Welcome to Seeing This, the movie podcast where we bring you the latest movie reviews, celebrate our favorite movie anniversaries, compete with competitive movie drafts, and much, much more. I'm the movie Mamba, Mike Ornelas, and one lesson we learned to be true from this week's movie is bros before hoes. Joining me on the pod is the Gerber baby-faced assassin, Adrian Cedeno.
Quit your crying.
Get your crybaby ass in the back. Get your ass beat. And if you know that movie reference, let us know in the comments. And he's back from his Gen Z frat house, the Playbill Prince himself, Anthony Cedeno.
the people I kill need killing.
And that's all in reference to Spider-Man Brand New Day. Anthony, let's start here. Do you remember when your body started changing and sticky substances started leaking out?
I do. I remember pretty vividly. I feel like, I remember being there, in the moment.
We'll get more into your sticky substance later in the pod, but first, some programming notes. Last Monday, we covered our first anniversary episode of season 3, and that was the 75th anniversary of Alice in Wonderland. We had a lot of fun on that one and a heated debate around our categories and awards, particularly the best scene in the movie. Next Monday, we have a special movie review on The Samurai and the Prisoner, a new release film by director Kiyoshi Kurosawa, which had its world premiere at Cannes and had its U.S. premiere in New York and LA last week, and releasing wide throughout the month of August. So tune in next week for that one. Let's get to what we've seen this week. We'll start with guests first. Anthony, what have you seen this week?
So I saw it when it first came out in theaters, but I just wanted to talk. I watched it again and I wanted to talk about it in the podcast. I saw the Michael movie. So good. I love it. Like, it's so great. I feel like I have so many different opinions on it, but overall, I'm biggest Michael Jackson fan in the world. Loved it.
Biggest Michael Jackson fan in the world. That's a revelation to me. We did cover it on the pod and we didn't get to hear from you. What did you like about it so much?
I really liked, I know that there was still some holes. Like, I definitely, same with like the Spider-Man movie. I really like kept up with like, this person doesn't want to be involved. Oh, this is this. Oh, they're going to have this in it. Like, I kind of still like stayed up to date with like all of the updates in the movie and stuff. And I feel like just going in, it was like everything I wanted from that movie. I feel like it really could jumped into like some of like the real topics, but it didn't dive too much, like Joe Jackson and all that. Like, it touched on it, but it didn't get to like a really dark place with it. And I feel like that was cool. It was still lighthearted and like fun, but it still had like that taste of like realness and this is what happened and whatever. Of course, some things were left out. Like, I'm pretty familiar with Michael Jackson and like all the stuff, but overall, I think it was still pretty true to like Michael Jackson and the, who he was and everything. And I really appreciated it. And yeah, I rewatched it this week. So.
Love that. Two-time viewer of Michael. I also saw it twice, and funny enough, I think I saw the second time in the like 4DX version. So like with the dance moves, the seats were moving. Not a movie you would think you'd want to see in 4DX, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I've seen it like 3 times
Oh,
in the
wow.
last like 4 days. Aliha has gotten into it, so she saw it, and now she just wants to put it on. She puts it on in the background. So I've caught it halfway, like 3 times already.
I mean, not getting into the dark side of the Michael Jackson story, the alleged dark side of the Michael Jackson story, but kids love Michael Jackson, like his music. Like, it's incredible how...
She cried.
Oh, really?
Twice. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, she doesn't understand like why he would get beat like that. Like,
at the beginning.
She didn't fathom like what the heck was going on. So she cried the first time, and then the second time she was crying again. Like,
well,
now she feels bad. She just doesn't understand like what's going on.
Yeah. Well, you better not show her. What is it? The Jackson family, the Jackson family story. Yeah, American Story. We'll hold off on that.
I grew up. growing up, I always watched like the music videos and stuff, and like that was like my thing. Like anytime I was with my cousins or whatever, like I remember going to my tia Shenny's house. I'd stay there for a few days, and legit, I would just be on their like huge computer. Like all the whole time I was alone, like all throughout the day, I would just be sitting there like watching Michael Jackson music videos, and like that was a part of like what made me want to get. Because like for the viewers that don't know, I'm a dancer. Like that, watching that, like it made me like want to get into it, and like I was like, I want to be like this is what I want, like all the things,
Inspired by the king of pop, the Playbill Prince
Definitely.
himself. Adrian, what have you seen this week?
I revisited a old school classic movie of mine growing up. Superhero theme, but it was always like a knockoff version. Um, Back to My Boys, the Wayans. This is the different one, Damon Wayans, in Blank Man. Him and David Allen Greer. So good, so funny, so real. Like there, no superpowers. He just is a dork that creates like a bulletproof liquid, and he ends up like dipping his clothes in this bulletproof liquid, so now he's bulletproof, but he's still a dweeb and a nerd and trying to be a superhero.
I've heard a few people talk about that movie just because it's like it's more a comedy than anything, right?
It's
Yeah.
100% a comedy.
Yeah.
Like they're making fun of it's a character I want to say that Damon had from
In Living
what's that?
in Living Color.
Yeah.
Love that. I'll add it to my watch list. A couple things on my end quickly. I did watch Meeting Your Maker. It's a short film about a puppet. Picture like Sesame Street show, but Elmo is like trying to find the purpose of his life because of like all the like, wait, pause. Maybe if you deliver that with a little more energy. And like, he's just like, why? This is where I am. I could be so much more. What is my life? And it kind of follows that in a comedic way. And then I watched another film, The Kidnapping of Arabella. This was really interesting. It's a dark comedy drama, I guess a dramedy. And it's about this little girl. She's probably like 7 or 8. And her dad is like a deadbeat author that can't take her patients or whatever. She meets this woman, and the woman thinks that the little girl is a younger version of herself. It's like her as an 8-year-old. So ends up taking her for a ride because she wants to leave. It does remind me a little bit of like the Florida Project as far as like the child acting in it. It's not as guerrilla style or as serious, but definitely worth checking out. It is making the festival circuits right now, and that's The Kidnapping of Arabella. Italian film as well, starring Chris Pine, speaking Italian. And I thought he did a great job. He doesn't have a lot of screen time, but he plays the dad. And it was fantastic. His performance was really good. Everyone's performance was good. So check that out. And then lastly, I was very fortunate to go to a press screening of Tony, the Anthony Bourdain film. We plan to cover that in a couple weeks once it releases wide. So I won't talk.
With Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas is in it. And I'll say this. If you love Anthony Bourdain, this film's going to be very polarizing. We'll talk more about it when we talk about it. I'll just say the positives. It did make me want to cook and enjoy the idea of cooking. And Antonio Banderas has still got it. And that's all I'll say for now. So in a couple of weeks when it releases wide, check out Tony and hear all of our thoughts on that one. But without further ado, let's jump into Spider-Man: A Brand New Day.
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
I know, I've seen this. I know this.
So typically Adrian would read the letterbox description, but his Wi-Fi is doing all it can to keep him and his son. I don't think we mentioned Anthony is your son, and you're recording out of the same house. So due to that, I will read the letterbox description of Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Spider-Man: Brand New Day, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. A brand new day starts now. Fighting crime full-time as Spider-Man in a world that doesn't remember him, and the pressure of seeing his old friends move on without him sparks a change in Peter Parker he may not have the power to control. But that transformation might also be the only thing that can stop a shocking new threat to the city and those he loves. A powerful villain no one can see. So, Spider-Man: Brand New Day, directed
Is that
as
what I sound like?
no, I had to do my own voice. Sorry, I can't do yours. So, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, as I mentioned, cast Tom Holland, Zendaya, Sadie Sink, Jacob Batalon, John Bernthal, and a few other wonderful actors. And I'll just say this: holy hell, do people love Spider-Man? Box office opening weekend as of today, which is Monday, $360 million. Just to put, and that's domestic, that's just here in the US. Put that into context. Odyssey, which has been sold out across regional markets, especially for the IMAX 70 millimeter, has been out for 2 weeks and it's at 395.5 million. So just 35 million more. And Spider-Man has only been out a few days. So it's definitely going to break $1 billion, which is absolutely insane.
I couldn't believe, like, I went to the theaters to see it, and I've never seen so many grown men dressed in Spider-Man costumes. Like, I was blown away. It was literally full of people dressed up like Spider-Man, and I
They
was
had the
like,
suit. They had the whole suit.
a lot of them were like grown-ass men in a full-on
Wow.
costume,
Wow.
like
All right.
full movie quality costume. They had to pull their mask to drink their Slurpees and stuff, like
As
it was
Spider-Man
good.
does, Yeah.
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 So yeah, I imagine it's gonna be a big hit.
Yeah. No, definitely. Spider-Man, of all the comic book characters, I think Spider-Man and maybe Batman have the most like staying power across iterations. You know what I mean?
Because they had the best animated series.
As well. When we were growing up, Batman is incredible. Very different. Like Batman is very dark, and the
Yeah.
Spider-Man series was very like not even just in the animation, but its tone and everything, very light. But both were great. Anthony, you're a big comic book guy. I believe you were on. What was the last episode you were on? I believe it was a comic book movie, right?
It was either Fantastic Four or Superman. Oh no, I wasn't
Okay.
on Superman. It was Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, right? So you're here again to talk about the latest Marvel film. What did you think?
I thought it was great. I have a lot of different thoughts, a lot of specific stuff, but overall, I thought it was really good. I thought it was really cool how they like paid homage to like a lot of like the comic book stuff. I thought they were gonna lean into it like a little bit more. Like I like definitely like even from like the jump, like and all the trailers and stuff, him holding the guy and like all the different like comic book, things that they had.
Frames, yeah.
Yeah, the frames. I really thought that they were gonna like really jump into like different like versions of like the comics of like whatever. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I think I still, I definitely don't agree with some people being like, it's the best Spider-Man movie ever, best one since Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire and like all this stuff. I wouldn't go as far to be like it's the best one ever, but I definitely think it was like really great, very well written, well done. The emotion was there, the plot was there, but definitely thought they were gonna lean more into like the comic book stuff. But I mean, even then, I still think it was great. I have a pretty good positive, reflection of the movie.
And you've seen all the Spider-Mans, like across all the renditions, you've seen them all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we'll talk ranking a little bit later. Adrian, I don't think is as well versed with Spider-Man. You mentioned the animated show back when we were kids. What was your relationship with Spider-Man going into this?
I loved the animated show. And for a while, I was like, I gotta see what happens next week. Like, I
Right.
gotta see the next episode. I gotta be home. Like, tryouts are gonna be done, and I gotta race back home to catch the new Spider-Man episode. Um, so I was that kid for the cartoon, not really much with the comic book or as far as like movies. I remember seeing them when it was Tobey Maguire and then kind of falling off after that. I did see some of the first two with Tom Holland. And I've seen, like the Marvel, Endgame and the Avengers and all
Avengers,
that
yeah.
stuff with him in it.
What did you think of this Spider-Man?
I still enjoyed it. I
Okay.
liked it. I was still able to catch on to the emotion. A lot of the emotion that is in the animated series that I was into, where he's gotta let Mary Jane go because, he's dangerous, right? So I kind of understood and was able to pick it up no problem. But I did kind of feel like, oh, this is all set up in the one before, like all this emotional weight. Somewhat, it was still emotional. Just didn't hit me as hard, I guess, because I missed
Mm,
the movie before,
right,
where it set it up, all that emotional weight.
right. And we had just talked Odyssey, and we've seen 3 of these actors in that film, and then here we are with Spider-Man. What do you think of the performances?
They're great.
Yeah.
To be honest, to hear Tom Holland's regular accent and know that he's normally a Brit, it's like, man, I get lost. Like, how do you do this? Like, what?
Yeah.
Why don't you just talk normal all the time? Like, why
Normal
do you?
here. There it
You know
is.
what I mean?
like that all the time. Like that's crazy. Yeah.
So that is bizarre to me. John Bernthal, I love him and everything he does.
And
I
you'd
really
watch you
like this
watched The
Punisher.
Punisher, right?
I really like this Punisher character. That one was really emotional. And I think that's why Spider-Man is so appreciated and loved because of the emotion.
I see memes like that all the time where it's like, when I was broken, missing my ex, no one said anything. But when Peter Parker does it, it's like a big deal. Like,
Sure,
like
sure.
Love it when it's like that,
No, for sure. And my blind spot in this was I didn't see that Punisher film, One Last Kill, that you were referring to. And from what I understand, that's very like a lot of F-bombs, very violent. So it's really interesting to see in this movie those worlds collide where he's not as dark and heavy from what I understand, right?
Not at all. Like, not at all dark and heavy. That's why it did feel somewhat forced, like the comedy
Mm,
aspect of that. Because it did bring a lighthearted style to the Punisher, where the movie before that, no, the Punisher is he's depressed, he's an alcoholic,
yeah.
he's going through it, and he's just about vengeance and killing. So it's a little different tone for
Sure,
sure.
sure, sure. Well, listen, I've got a very special guest to tell you my thoughts on Spider-Man: A Brand New Day. You may know him as Dennis Reynolds from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I feel like a lot of my guests are probably going to come from Always Sunny because there's just so many good bits in there. But, to give context, the way he describes what he's going to say is how I felt recently. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome. But if you've been a part of the tribe for a while here at Seen This, you know that we as a group, me, Adrian, Erica, these superhero or IP films have kind of let us down. You know what I mean? They've been a bit mid at best lately. So Dennis Reynolds is going to let you know how I feel now having watched Spider-Man: A Brand New Day.
I'm having feelings again, like some kind of 15-year-old kid or something. I mean, you remember feelings, right?
Yeah, I have feelings every single day of my life.
Do you? Are you saying you don't have feelings? Well, I'm saying I built up a shell around myself, a cold, calculated, heartless shell that couldn't be broken by anything but marriage. And that's what she did, dude. She broke that shell.
So, so obviously not the marriage part, but it's with emotion. This is probably the most emotional, not just Spider-Man, but maybe superhero film that I've watched. I'll when we get to spoilers, I'll say when, but I think I cried in like 2 or 3 different parts of this movie. You know what I mean? And with that being said, I agree with what you guys are saying. An emotional Spider-Man really creates great storylines, and he's alone. Nobody knows who he is. The people he loves, he can't talk to, and that includes his girl, right, MJ. So I really thought this movie was a breath of fresh air compared to what we've been doing. It did rejuvenate some juice into the Marvel Cinematic Universe while not completely focusing on the bigger picture of MCU like a lot of these films do. There are aspects of it. It does kind of feel like 2 movies. It's like 2/3 a Spider-Man movie, and then there is like kind of a section where it's like, ooh, this is something different and it feels kind of forced. It could have been a little bit more seamless. It is 2.5 hours long, so you really got to get the editing and pacing down so you don't feel that. And that wasn't perfect.
Felt it.
You felt it, especially like the last 20 to 30 minutes. You're like, oh, we still have more time to go, right? But I thought the performances were great. I was very harsh, and I think a lot of people have been harsh on Tom Holland after the Odyssey. I felt like he was the weakest part of that. But then to see him back as Peter Parker, he is Peter Parker. Like, he did such a phenomenal job. You know what I mean? He is Peter Parker. He is Spider-Man. And it was incredible. So there's no doubt.
I got a question.
Please.
So if we all agree that Christian Bale is the best Batman?
Yeah.
No.
Does animation count?
Great
No.
question. Great question.
I would say like live actor, like the best acting.
I think he's
Batman.
the best Bruce Wayne. I think he's the best Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
I know I'm getting specific here, but go ahead to your point.
Okay, so Tom Holland is the best Peter
Yeah.
Parker Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, Tobey Maguire was like almost 30 when he got when he got into his Spider-Man films. Andrew Garfield was a blind spot. I had to go back and visit those films like later on, and it was just different. He did touch on the emo side of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. But if you're talking like strictly feature film Spider-Man, you're like, Tom Holland is Spider-Man for sure. He was made for this. He was made for this character, right?
Especially not speaking the accent just blows me away.
It's incredible. There's a lot of actors that are really good at accents. I don't want to, maybe I'll wait for spoilers to say everyone that's in this film, but there is one actor that has her, I don't remember if it's Russian or Ukrainian accent. If you know, you know. Well, I was trying not to go into spoilers. Thank you. But her accent work was a little touch and go there. You know what I mean? And I remember when we reviewed Thunderbolts, I mean, listen, slight minor spoiler, but Helena from Thunderbolts, her voice acting wasn't the best in this or Thunderbolts, but her physical acting was great in this one. Let's put it that way. But before we spoil anything else, let's get into our Commodus scale. Up, even, or down? Anthony, you're our guest. Is this a thumbs up, even, or down? You got to talk. This is an audio podcast. And why is it a thumbs up?
Yeah, thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. I feel like it really touched on a lot of the comic book stuff that like I really appreciated. Me, being so invested into Spider-Man and like everything, and kind of like you had mentioned how like it really like was just like a story, and it wasn't like too much of like, oh, this is building up for this huge MCU timeline of this and this and this. It did feel very like centered, and this is what it's about and whatever, while still like also still building, but it didn't feel like that,
Adrian, thumbs up, even, or down?
I'll definitely give it a thumbs up. It was a fun time in the theater. Fun to just see all these kids and grown men all dressed the same in uniform. So that is cool. But yeah, I had a fun time. It was a good time. Shout out to Larry for taking me. It was a fun time. Thank you.
Larry, way to go. Couldn't be on the pod, but still doing his part to get the Gerber Babyface Assassin in the theater. Appreciate it. Thumbs up. Probably the best Marvel film since Endgame, to be quite honest. We got No Way Home since then, which was a good film. It's fun, but it was very nostalgic. It really relied on the nostalgia of everything. And this one was a great story. And I think it was incredibly directed. And that's a testament to Destin Daniel Cretton, who has taken the reins of these Spider-Man films. Let's get into spoilers for Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Spoiler alert.
Anthony, you're excited about this. Tell us, spoiler-wise, there's a lot introduced here. Nobody knows who Spider-Man is. Peter writes this whole love letter to MJ, essentially telling her like, hey, you don't know me, but you used to be in love with me. And there's an invisible villain. When it was kicking off, what did you think of that? Like this villain that was getting introduced to us?
So from the jump, like I said, same with Michael Jackson movie. Like I kept updates with it like the whole time. Like this actor is introduced. This person was this. This person has this much screen time and this and this and all
before you saw the movie. So
I was very updated. Like
fucking Gen Z.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I kind of already kind of knew like I knew that was Jean Grey from the jump. Like I already knew like
what a shame.
Huh?
I said what a shame, but you seem excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like for me, like that doesn't ruin the movie. That just gets me like more excited. Like, oh, I'll get to see Jean Grey. Like, okay, that's cool. Like, I was kind of like Sadie Sink. Like, she's a lot on the younger side compared to like all the X-Men movies and where she is. So I was interested like on like how this was going to play out, like timeline wise. And I'll talk more about that later when we talk about the double feature. But I thought it was dope. There's a few things I didn't appreciate. One, I really don't like it's another movie of them just like downplaying the Hulk. Like the Hulk is the strongest Avenger. He's the strongest person in the MCU. Like, and everyone just keeps like every movie is a punching bag. Every movie, like Age of Ultron, Hulkbuster's taking down the Hulk. In this movie, Spider-Man's taking down the Hulk. In the last, and Thor Ragnarok, Thor's taking down the Hulk. Like he just keeps getting beat up. And in Infinity War, he gets taken down by Thanos. Like there's no way Thanos with only a Power Stone is taking down the Hulk. Like it just didn't make like to me, it's like, okay, that's not true to the comic. I can understand like, oh yeah, Spider-Man's outsmarting the Hulk or outmaneuvering, which is like kind of what we got. Like that's cool, but I feel like it really played into the same theme that it always like Marvel keeps doing of like Hulk is just just the guy that's there smashing whatever.
So your critique of Spider-Man Brand New Day is that the Hulk, who we do see, Mark Ruffalo's back, can't beat up Spider-Man. This is kind of like a Looney Tunes Acme battle where like Spider-Man, the way he's getting beat is killed. Like he kills Spider-Man, grabbing him by the head and smashing him. Swinging him around. Yeah, like I agree. And I didn't like, when the Hulk is fighting him and choking Spider-Man and they do the whole like Justice League, the whole Justice League bit where it's like Martha and like doesn't kill him. It's like that was a weak point. And it's a 2.5 hour movie. Like they got to trim the edges at certain points. And I think it's fair. I hear you're passionate about the Hulk. You're turning green as you talk. But I think, outside of those aspects, I think there's a testament that like brains are stronger than bronze, right? Because when he is Bruce Banner, he figures out how to create this device to like calms the mutation, which I think is foreshadowing to something that's going to come once the X-Men are introduced, right? Because the Department of Damage Control, right?
Trying to contain that.
And from the jump, I was like, oh, these are the villains. Like, like they're trying to show like, Spider-Man's working with them. Like, no, I've seen this plot twist. And when I saw the way that this villain was jumping from one person to the next person to the next person, there was a lot of cool camera shots the way they did it. Like it had to be choreographed on a single shot where one side actor is like doing the thing where they get possessed and then jumps to the next person. And they were doing that in a single shot. And even when these people had lines or dialogue as Jean Grey, which we didn't know was her at the time, they all did a great job. They were consistent in like the tone of like, oh, this isn't how they normally talk. You know what I mean? And I bought into that.
Another thing that I really appreciated about the whole thing, they talked about, like, they really introduced, like, how smart Spider-Man is. Like, I feel like that's kind of been talked about a little bit, like, all throughout through, like, the series, especially in, like, Civil War and all of this ones. But, like, I really liked how they dived in and he was like, no, like this, like, oh, the RNA needs to change or whatever. Because even in the comics, like, Reed Richards, the smartest person ever, is asking Spider-Man for help for certain things. And like, hey, I thought of this, like, help me with this. And like, they work together like this.
It was Tony Stark.
Yeah. Huh? Well, yeah. he's had
Tony Stark asking for help. You know what I mean? Like, He's a smart
But
kid.
every Spider-Man movie up till now has had some kind of mentor, like Tony Stark, like Doctor Strange, like or even the other Spider-Man. Like he's had these different people that are like trying to mentor him. And this is the first one where like he's on his own. Like nobody knows who he is. And I agree. I appreciate that we start to see like his intelligence unfold in the way he's trying to create this emitter that slows the mutation, reverses mutation, whatever. But we haven't even touched on this about your liquid leaking out of you. He's doing all this because he's starting to develop more arachnid DNA. He's having organic web shooters. And at first, they're just spraying everywhere. And like the way they show it, they're definitely leaning into that innuendo. I'll just say that. Coming of age.
College.
Yeah, he's coming of age, and it was really interesting that they took that angle. Anthony, you're going to say something.
Yeah, that's something that also I didn't appreciate because I really thought the whole movie was going to go like a different direction. Like I really thought like towards the end, okay, like they figured out everything with Jean Grey. She's good. She's whatever. I thought, because in the comics, the comic book panel that they actually showed of Frank Castle carrying Spider-Man to the hospital, whatever. The original comic book panel is a part of the Brand New Day, whatever, and it's pretty much his mutations getting out of control. The arachnid DNA or whatever is like getting into like his system to where he mutates into what's called the man spider,
Right.
which he pretty much becomes out of control. He grows more arms and is just like trying to kill people pretty much. And then Punisher, who is usually the one killing people, has to put down Peter Parker. So he puts it like he kills the man spider, which is like a monster, all this stuff. And then he carries him into the what's it called? It's the hospital. And then at the hospital, Captain America comes and they pack each other out. And then like he almost kills him. And Punisher's like, yeah, I deserve this. Like I had to do this. Like,
so do you, when you go into movies like this, since you're so well versed in comic books, do you actively seek out and anticipate them being 100% comic true versus taking creative liberties to make this story? Because it sounds like that's your biggest critique, is like the things that they turned from the comics.
So I definitely think I think with this movie specifically, it's like they were hinting at it the whole time. The entire trailer is just them doing comic book panels and this and like the hand and all this other stuff. Like in the comics, like where Peter Parker's like facing the hand, is like about to go to town and like fight the hand. He's with Daredevil.
Yeah, because I feel like Bernthal and Holland have a chemistry, and that buddy aspect of it didn't feel forced.
Mm-hmm.
The comedic aspect of it, like the Punisher, at least this version of the Punisher hasn't been any type of comedic at all. Like there's no funny lightheartedness in it at all.
Yeah.
It's all depressing and just violent killing.
The only time Punisher is killing someone was when he killed Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And he was trying to kill Sadie Sink. I mean, trying to kill Jean Grey. So like that to me is like,
it's I mean, just to double click on Jean Grey real quick. When I saw this villain that you can't see jumping from person to person, my mind didn't initially go to Jean Grey. Like I knew Sadie Sink was in this. I think there's kind of like rumors around who she was going to be, but it wasn't 100% confirmed Jean Grey. And even if that was, the highest probability on the bets, it wasn't on my mind when I was watching the movie. So I like the way they did that. The issue I initially had was Jean Grey is made to be one evil son of a bitch. Like she pretty much gets in people's heads and like gets them killed or puts them in situations where they can die, even to the point where, MJ doesn't know who Peter is or who Spider-Man is, all this. And they're on top of that building there. And she's like into it. She's like, they start kissing and she's like, Peter, I remember you, and all this stuff. Right. And I knew
She's doing that jump.
But I knew when they did that web sling to get to that building, I was like, dude, MJ's usually freaking the fuck out when she's like doing this web slinging, right? And I'm like, something's off. And I remember thinking like, oh, it's this invisible villain, whoever it is, because we don't know at that point. So that turn with MJ, I appreciate, but she tries to like throw her off the building. MJ always falling off buildings. You know what I mean? And Jean Grey, how we know her with the history we have, would be like, yo, that's not the Jean Grey I know. But you also have to remove yourself from that and be like, this is a new story. This is the beginning of Jean Grey. She hasn't met Professor Xavier.
Right.
She hasn't gone to the school. She hasn't learned how to control her powers. If anything, she's gained new powers.
She's a teenager.
She's a teenager. She ultimately gains more powers once she's captured by the Department of Damage Control. And she not only is a telepath, she learns how to be telekinetic and move things with her mind, right? And I actually do appreciate that, because if you do know Jean Grey and you know her story arc when she becomes the Phoenix, she causes some fucking trouble at that point too, right? So I actually, if it takes some creative thinking and writing to do all that, but it does make it feel like two movies. You know what I mean? Let's get to MJ and Ned, his people. And I'll just quickly go to the three parts that I thought were the most emotional, and I may have cried at them. But when, MJ ultimately discovers that Spider-Man's Peter, she reads the letter while Peter's out getting smashed by the Hulk, and sees that, like, wait, you wrote this? Like, did you want me to find this? And tells him, yo, like, I'm not that person. Like, I don't love you, And fast forward, hey, do you want to come up? Do you want to see Ned? And he's like, yeah. And when, like, they're talking and they're doing, like, movie quotes and total, like,
Secret handshake.
Well, not yet. Hold on. That's not yet. That's at the end. But before that, when they're hanging out and MJ's just there, writing, drawing, you don't know what she's doing. And he shows Peter the drawing of him and Ned just hanging out. My opening line originally was going to be, Erica's not here because she's busy doing a hand drawing of me and Adrian that she'll have for us next week. But, like, dude, that fucking hit. Like, that really hit me in the emotional bones there. And then also Spider-Man is there with Jean Grey, and Frank Punisher is trying to line up the shot, shoots, Spider-Man gets hit, and I thought for a second, like, yo, this is it. Like, he killed Spider-Man. Like, this is the end of Tom Holland. Like, there's been talks about who's going to take over and this and that. For a second, I thought that.
Man, okay. Again, I'm gonna refer back to the comics. So how they introduced that was Spider-Man dies, right? Spider-Man's killed by the Punisher, man spider, whatever. He's buried in like underground, and then the symbiote is going person to person trying to find a host. And Venom knows that how powerful Spider-Man is. So the Venom, like the symbiote, is looking for Spider-Man and finds him dead. And he goes to him and brings him back to life. And now he's like Venom, Spider-Man, whatever. So it was still cool how, like, in the end credit scene, they still, like, hinted at Venom. Like, maybe
he better be coming soon then, because they've been hinting at Venom to be in this universe.
Like, it would have made perfect sense if they, like, that was how they got to it. But them not doing it, it kind of, like, felt like this movie would have been a lot heavier if Spider-Man died in the end. If Spider-Man died,
You're the guy that I would not want to watch a comic book movie with ever.
You're the book's better guy. The book's better. Yeah. But as I was saying, once we think that Spider-Man's dead and then he's not, Frank comes to visit him. He puts on the Spider-Man mask to, like, distract everyone so Peter can walk out. And when Peter sees everyone, like, cheering for Spider-Man, and he sees the little kid, like, do the web sling to him, it got me again. I was like, son of a bitch. Yeah. So, and lastly, as Adrian alluded to, at the end of the movie, Peter goes into the shop, buys the flowers that he gets for Aunt May. Aunt May, living in his head with all his wisdom, saved Jean Grey, because a few minutes with Marissa Tomei can set you right. And that worked out in this case. But he goes into the shop and he sees Ned and he's like, you could tell he's thinking, like, do I say something? Do I not? And all he does, I can feel chills coming right now. Like, he just goes up, does the secret handshake, and, like, end the movie. Like, perfect way to end the movie, I thought. And, like, I was like, fuck yeah.
Me and my elementary school best friend, like, I don't know if my dad remembers. It was Jake Ordaz. He was, like, one of my closest friends. and like we loved Spider-Man. Like that was like our stuff. Like dope.
They
And
made like little movies about Spider-Man.
yeah, we did like stop action films, and it'd be
Let's
like
go.
reenacted stuff and like whatever. Like like before TikTok was a thing, we were doing like voiceovers of like Spider-Man and like really
Dub
pretend.
Smash.
Yeah, like all the stuff. So
Do we still
it-
have that footage? Is that anywhere?
I have some Dub Smash.
There we
footage.
go.
Yeah.
There we go.
well, yeah, but like our secret handshake growing up was the same one as them, like the like,
Sure.
and now like seeing that, I was like I texted him, I was like, yo, bro, like how you been? Like I probably do Instagram, like dude, let's kick it sometime. Like I just
For
want you to
sure.
like it was fire. So I really appreciated that handshake scene because I was like, dang, like I wonder how my elementary school best friend is doing. Like
That's great, man. No, that's the power of storytelling, you know what I mean? And even for like me and your dad as adults, like you could think of friendships you had when you were younger or how close you were with certain friends, and like you have those inside jokes. Like you got those things where it's like, you know, me and someone can just make us quote a movie and it's funny as the funniest thing in the world to us, but a random bystander is like, the fuck you guys laugh at? You know, like it's like those kind of relationships that you have, but as life goes on, you separate from. You know, it might not be as drastic as this movie where you completely forget someone, but you still can resonate with that kind of feeling to reconnect. So I thought it was great. Double feature recommendations for Spider-Man Brand New Day.
For double feature.
Double feature.
Double feature.
Double, toilet trouble.
Double! Double of everything!
Maybe I better go back and see another double feature.
Anthony, you go ahead and start us off. What would you recommend?
I would recommend X-Men Origins. I would recommend that one is because you see in the movie, even though it's fully focused around Wolverine and like, you know, all like his timeline through like World War One, World War Two, all this stuff. The majority of the movie, like after like the flashback and stuff, it's based in 1979. And in that year, Wolverine is going through the stuff with Sabretooth, trying to kill him and do all this other stuff, whatever. In the movie, at the very end, Wolverine is saving all of these mutants that were going to be tested on by Stryker and like the X-Men or the what was it? Something X program? Weapon X. Yeah, Weapon X. So and in that you see Cyclops. Like Cyclops is there as like a little kid, not a kid, but like teenager, and you see him like just like move and like kill all these people and like use his like lasers and whatever. Anyways, point of what I'm trying to say is you see a lot of the X-Men of like from before of like a lot of people that are in Xavier's school for mutants, whatever. You see a lot of them there. Like you could like really attribute, like especially with Cyclops, and you're seeing Jean Grey as a teenager just coming into her powers and her mutant abilities, all this stuff. I feel like a good way to like, still like X-Men that were like coming into like their mutant abilities. I think is X-Men Origins, especially with Wolverine. Like that's when he gets his claws and stuff.
Sure. I thought Sadie Sink, just to double click on that really quick, as Jean Grey was a great left turn. Like we got Sophie Turner. We saw Sophie Turner in X-Men Apocalypse as Jean Grey. Didn't really work. But I liked Sadie Sink. You asked, is Tom Holland the best Spider-Man? Sadie Sink is not the best Jean Grey because no one will be better than Famke Jensen from the original X-Men. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I got mine too. Beginnings trilogy. But nonetheless, Adrian, what would you recommend to watch with Spider-Man: A Brand New Day?
So don't be like me and watch No Way Home first, and then go in and watch Brand New Hope or Brand New Day. So I went in and I hadn't seen the third one, and that really did set up a lot of the emotional weight that you carry in this movie. Which, like I said, luckily I had experience with the animated series, and that one kind of ends with similar like to how No Way Home ends, where he has to make a decision between MJ or being safe or having to live with her and her always be at risk forever. You know, she's Spider-Man's girl. They're gonna go after her.
Yeah.
So I kind of understood the weight of all that. But maybe somebody going in blind and not knowing that seeing a No Way Home would entirely wipe that out.
For sure. For sure. No, that's fair. To say watch the movie that came out before this. But I think it does carry a lot of that weight. And that was 5 years ago. Like it almost feels like a real sequel in the sense of you don't get it like the next year or 2 years. Like you got to sit with the events of the past 5 years. And we even get a montage in this film where like we see the whole college journey of Ned and MJ, right? MJ's got,
and I missed that. You know
right.
what I mean? Like I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, they're in college, and
You're right.
oh, they don't like. Oh, he's separating himself. So I caught on fast, but it hits you right in the face, like right away.
Yeah.
Like there's things I'm missing. Like I understand that something's that's supposed to mean something right now in this opening credit. You know,
Yeah,
in the last movie.
And speaking of montage, we also see the montage of him cleaning up New York, and that's where we see all the like comic panels of fighting these different villains. You know, you have this scene right here where like he's got this guy in his web sling, you got the Scorpion, you got Tombstone, you got all these different villains to hand. Which was great to see them. Initially, I was like, oh, we're just zipping right through these villains. We do get more Scorpion. So I was glad to see that. Shout out to our boy Michael Mando, who plays Scorpion. I love seeing him when he pops up in movies. But yeah, my double feature recommendation, I'm actually taking a bit of a left turn because I was so harsh on Tom Holland in the Odyssey, and he's great in this, but I also don't want to say he can only do Spider-Man movies. So I would recommend checking out The Devil All the Time. So this is a film that got kind of lost during COVID because it came out in 2020, but it also stars his Odyssey co-star Robert Pattinson. It also stars Erica's stock Bill Skarsgård, and it's essentially like a really grounded, dark film around this town in Ohio, the backwoods of it, and having to fight evil forces that threaten his family and kind of the influence of like the church and like all these different things. And I remember that being the most prominent acting I've seen from Tom Holland outside of Spider-Man. For you guys also, I imagine you haven't seen it. The Devil All the Time, definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. I really enjoyed it. I think some people it didn't work, but it worked for me. He was also in, I think it's called The Impossible, was his first feature film, and he's this little boy in, I want to say Japan during the tsunami.
Yeah.
And wow, the like practical effects or the way they make this tsunami coming onto the land is fucking incredible. So I'm going to recommend both. Check out The Impossible. Check out Devil All the Time if you want to see some great Tom Holland action and acting. Check those out. Let's draft some stock.
Wait, real quick.
Please.
I forgot something for the spoiler talk,
Please.
whatever. I thought they were going to like dive into it a little bit more of Ursula, of like the little white girl that lives in the same apartment building as him, and like, like she's always super kind to him and flirting with him, and he's like, she's the healthy option, but he chooses.
I didn't even connect that as the same person from the previous Spider-Man.
Yeah, because I'm in the first Spider-Man. They're like, "You live here?"
Yeah, that's right.
And like, I really thought they were gonna at least. I mean, even if she had like one more scene, or like even if like he was just like when he was in like his underwear, like coming from outside when he was in the cocoon and stuff. Like, also, how did he get outside? But anyways, like I really thought that they were gonna have like at least another moment of like, what like this or like something, and they didn't.
Nice catch nonetheless, because you just brought that to light as that connection that she is in that original Spider-Man as well. Okay, ready to draft stock? Let's do it. So Anthony, since you and your dad share the same A initial, you are going to be E for Erica. So if I draw E for Erica, that's you. And I think
maybe I should be E for Erica because I want to go first.
No. It's already been.
I know your tricks with your weighted papers.
Get the fuck out of here. Anthony, you're first. E is for Anthony.
What did I just say?
Hold on. Take it easy. Can we get the draft order first? Take it easy. I'm second. And that means your pops is third. Sorry about your luck. Okay. Who are you taking?
I'm taking.
Wait. So a couple people are off the board.
Thank you, Adrian. So we have people that have been drafted that you cannot draft. Adrian, you have Zendaya. coming hot off of the drama. She's been in the Odyssey since then, and now this stock going up. Great job there. Erica during the Odyssey took John Bernthal, and during Thunderbolt she took Florence Pugh. So they're off the board. And then my Mark Ruffalo stock just continues to go up every single Marvel movie because he's in just about all of them. So those 4 people are off the board. Zendaya, John Bernthal, Florence Pugh, and Mark Ruffalo. Okay, Anthony, who you take?
Initially, I wanted to be basic and take Tom Holland, but I feel like that's like buying stock when it's already like pretty high. Like I can't see it going much higher.
Wow.
But I'm gonna.
He's so young. What a take.
And I'm able, like, also, like, I can see him. I feel like from now on, like moving forward, I think he's gonna start taking a lot older roles, like a little bit more like adult and not really too much of like.
Oh, he's 30. I'd hope so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some like 30-year-olds that are playing teenagers. Like, I don't know. Anyways, I'm taking how do you say Jacob Batalon?
The CEO of Sex.
Yes.
You would.
Not only is he like super popular on social media for like no reason, and he's like you said, CEO of Sex and like all this stuff, like that literally started as like a meme, and it like became this whole thing. Like, I don't know. He's definitely gonna be in more movies. I think them putting like a lot of spotlight on him in this movie, and especially in others, like I feel like he's really has some untapped potential that he's gonna be in like a lot more movies. I feel like this was the movie to where a lot of like producers and directors are like, that's my main character for this, or he fits perfectly for this or whatever. So I'm going with Jacob, Ned Leeds.
All right. Jacob Batalon is off the board. It now comes to me, and interesting.
Anthony.
I mean, honestly, what a shocking first pick, but at the same time, if anyone's going to take him, it would be Anthony. So Gen Z supporting each other. Love it. I mean, listen, I feel bad. Like if Tom Holland gets passed up on the Odyssey and on Spider-Man, that is a tough beat. But I'm actually going to take, oh man. Okay. It's between 2. And I don't want to say who they are to set Adrian up.
It's got to be between 3. Like, I even know. I'll go last and I'll say which 3 I think
sure
it should be between, right?
And I'll let you know if you pick the 2 I'm thinking of. Go ahead.
I'm assuming you're going after Marissa Tomei, Tom Holland, and maybe Naomi Watts.
Nope. 0 for 3. 0 for 3.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to take Tramel Tillman, who plays the head of the Department of Damage Control. He made Bill Metzger, yeah. So he's was in Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. He is in a film Ebenezer, or I think Ebenezer is coming out. So keep an eye out for that. But he made his big launch on the TV show Severance. So as Milchick. I haven't seen it yet, but I've been wanting to watch it. So I thought he really did good for someone that's like positioned to be a man in authority and also be a villain. I feel like he's a big of enough name that he's going to come up in more of these MCU movies. Like he doesn't die, even though Jean Grey could have very easily killed him, considering she was ready to kill all these other people earlier. Nitpick. But I really like his performance, and I think he'll be a big name to come. But nonetheless, Adrian, go ahead. Who are you going to take?
How can you guys not take Tom Holland?
Are you gonna? Is he getting off the board? Are you doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Holland all day.
There it is.
He's gonna be doing a ton more work, and it's nothing wrong with buying a stock already high if it's already a sure thing to keep going higher.
I don't know about that one, Dad.
I'll take the whole couple. They're a happy couple. I'll take them both.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't think that's a good idea because even like in all of his press stuff, all of his like interviews and everything, he's talked before plenty of times. Like as soon as Spider-Man's over, as soon as like the pictures over, I'm having kids, and once I have kids, I'm out.
I didn't want to say that as Anthony was talking about Tom Holland. I didn't want to say it because I knew your dad didn't know that. But he says once I have kids, I'm retiring. But he's full of shit. He's gonna keep acting.
I don't know. I mean, he's not. I don't know. I don't. I mean, we only know like the side of him that's in the press, whatever. But like from what we know of Tom Holland, that he's spoke about it before. He's like, I have enough money. Like, I'm doing this because I like for the
I
legacy.
think the next projects he does between now and him having kids will determine if he keeps going. If he has bombs after this or like gets criticized or eaten up, he may just retire because for what? You got the money, you got the wife, you got the kid, like sure. So we'll see. We'll see if that pays off. Nonetheless, that's Spider-Man Brand New Day. Thank you guys for listening, watching. Like, comment, subscribe, be a part of the tribe, leave a review, be a part of the crew. Really goes a long way to help us get exposure, so we appreciate it. Follow us across all of our socials at Seen This Pod. You go to seenthispod.com for all of our episodes, interviews, merch, get your merch. And what do we have next? What did I say? Yes, The Samurai and the Prisoner. So make sure to tune in for that one. Anthony, thank you for joining us. Adrian's pointing at The Last Samurai. I have a feeling it'll be better than a white man savior complex movie, but we shall see. But until then, stay safe.